Hello folks, welcome to today's tutorial. I'm going to be showcasing how to set up a Nuxt project with TypeScript. A lot of people like to avoid TypeScript because they feel like it's kind of unnecessary or makes the code bulky, or perhaps they might not even know how to use it. But I'm going to be showing you how to set it up in Nuxt.js, Nuxt version 3. And one of the important things, or one of the reasons why I use TypeScript, is that it helps me in refactoring, gives more confidence to the code you write, and saves you from simple errors. It's basically what everybody uses these days. So to do a lot of good to adapt. Nuxt has a very good support for TypeScript, and most of its modules or packages also support TypeScript. So we're going to set up a simple to-do app, we set up Tailwind for styling, and also activate the dev tool because it does provide some Tailwind functionality as well. So we don't want to initiate a Git repository. We want to install the dev tools as well. And when you go to the Nuxt TypeScript guide, you'll see some few packages you have to install as well. You just have to pick them and also install them. We're going to be using it to do because it's like your simple project for both web or backend. It's a simple basic CRUD app, right? But I want to show you how you can set it up in Nuxt and ensure um, regular type checking like as you work, you know. So while the packages are installed, we can just think through our project. So we're just going to build a simple to-do app whereby you have an input field and you provide a task and it gets pushed into an array. Right, very basic layout. We will just have a title, an input field, and a list of to-dos. When you click on any of them, it should toggle the status of done. Now, I want you to imagine the data we are passing around here. For a to-do, you have an array or a list, and then inside or every item of that list it's an object, right, that can either have a title, a status, or even an ID, especially if they're coming from a backend database. So TypeScript in the basic sense allows you to like maintain the shape of the object in the to do list or the to do array, and helps you to catch any errors. It also provides some like beautiful utilities like suggesting to you the objects that are or the properties found in an object. It basically helps for great developer experience, especially these days where dev experience is becoming mainstream, right? So some of these things you can do it, so we can do without. So just move into the TypeScript. This pardon me, I have a little cough. We'll just move into the project and make sure everything is set. So to get this working, we just need to add this configuration to our Nuxt package. When you read the doc, you see that there's also a command for manually checking, but we want to check in real time as we code. There's still some further instructions, especially how regarding configuration, or let's say you want to extend the base type system, or you want to make your own custom plugin and module, right? So we're just going to activate some of these things we have turned on. I want to add, so you can see that there's even a suggestion while I'm typing. So this is still one of the functionalities of the TypeScript setup in um, Nuxt itself. I'm not sure if we set up Tailwind already. Let me check the package. Okay, we haven't. Oh, we've been installing the packages in the wrong place. Yeah, that happens sometimes. So let's quickly fix that. We want to install a bunch of these packages together so we don't have to repeat ourselves. Basically, Tailwind and some of these TypeScript things, and we are good to go. So while we're setting this up, we can actually just go and scaffold our app while all this is being set up. We don't really need much other things to think on. okay, I think I created these files before, so and I thought I deleted them, but it's fine. So for us to create a to do, we can just scaffold the layout a bit. Okay, the packages are done installing, so I have no aliases here. So I'm just gonna run the project so that we have it showing up in the browser, and we can see how that looks. So to scaffold the project, want to remove this boilerplate and then make a container out of it, centralize the container, and put a padding on the top and the bottom. Then we want to add a little title, simple to do, and then let's style it a bit. Yeah. Then next, we want to add a form. This form will not be your ordinary form. It's going to be in charge of submitting, but let's not forget the prevent event. So it's going to call a to-do function. There's going to be an input field inside, and then that input field will be bound to something. Let's go to do to add, right? And then we can give it a class of border, right? And a lot more can follow. So we can also imagine that we're going to have, let's add some styling to the form. So we can also imagine we're going to have like where all this will show, right? So we want to add the loop, and then you can begin to scaffold the script section. Now mind you, if you want to use Typescript in Nuxt or Vue.js, you have to add this. You have to specify a language of the script tag. Also, I like to use Pug, so like even the templates section, you can do something like this. Like maybe in some of my other videos, you would see me use language, template language. So in this case, we also want to use the setup syntax because it's kind of cool. Then want to add some of the models. For example, the to-dos is going to be a ref, a list, right? And then we want to also add the function, so we stop this thing from making noise, right? And then imagine what it's going to do. Let me spell this correctly. It's basically going to inject what it has in the input. So we want to push something, right? So even before we do that, you should see some complaints going on. Some complaints around TypeScript, right? So some of, this is like what you get, like you get like very good information, and I think you also get it in the browser here too. So you can see this nice view. Can be annoying, but it keeps you on track. You see how UI is already coming into play. So we'll just continue. Now, to solve some rudimentary problems here, okay, let's just add this as well. This is just going to be a ref of an empty string, and that goes away. So you can notice here that it's complaining that it's no ID, right? Because it doesn't know the type, right? So to solve that, we can basically give it a shape. So one thing I do tell does is that you don't always need TypeScript in a way. Like the tooling is good enough to actually detect what you're trying to do, or like your default shape, right? So like for example, now it's not complaining here since it knows it can infer. Yeah, let's just call it type inference. So if I were to actually pass in an ID here, it knows and assumes that okay, there's going to be an ID here, right? But if we want to do it the TypeScript way, what we should ideally do is to define a type. So I'm just going to come here and say type I to do be equals to, you can choose whatever naming convention you want for your types, and then we want to add the title of string. We want to add done and make it a boolean. Some people use status as well. Now you can assign it to this to do simply by adding this column ref and then doing this. It's still going to complain because I'm basically passing an object to something that we specified as an array. So to fix that, we can just add this in front, right? But even better, this is a longhand syntax. We could basically do something like this, and we are good to go. You see the error messages disappeared, and we should have a clean console. So I always tell those our colleagues, like, let's maintain a zero console. like no console errors, everywhere should be clean. So now we have this, and we can continue with what we are doing. So I like to install a package called nano id. Helps me to like generate random id, so we can import it when we are pushing data in. Right. So whenever we are adding a new to do, we are basically pushing some items in. We push a nano id and make it a length of 16. We want to push a title, and then make that title equals to the to do to add its value basically. And then you can see there is also still an error because we've not specified this property as optional, so it's going to complain. But if we do this now, we have no errors anymore, right? But we want to make it compulsory, and then scaffold it as false, right? So all the issues goes away, right? Just for some UX, we want to also make this guy empty, right? Like cleared when we add it to do. And with this, we should be good to go. We could add some little class here that says we also want to bring out the index from this because we're going to use it later. Right, so we want to check if to do dot done, right? You can see the suggestion that comes. So that's one of the cool things about setting up TypeScript properly in your project. So we want to add a line through each time it's done. We don't need any other thing fancy. Then on the click event, we want to target the to-dos array itself. Don't try to mutate the object. You can just target the array itself, and then we want to set this property to the opposite of sorry, to the opposite of what it currently is, right? So without this, our app should be working fine. So let's go check. So when we go here and then the design and enter, you see everything works well. It gets entered and it clears, and then if you click on it, oh, it's not toggling. So let's see where we are making the mistake, right? So just to be safe, let's make sure they're matching a bit more, and then refresh. Click again. So you see it's working fine. Working fine. Obviously, you can go ahead and extend this, like add local storage and whatever you want to add, but this is just a simple way of setting TypeScript. Furthermore, one of the things I would do, or I like to do to organize, is to sort of like move away my types into their own separate file, like basically what I'm doing here. So I'll just ideally export this, and then import it here. Right, so you also want to add this type thing here, and everything works well, right? So I use this a lot, especially when I have like a lot of database models. So some of the ways you can actually reduce like the need for like all this typing, if you use tools like some of these validation library like Zod, Yop, you can basically like use type inference from them. You can set up like an ORM thing. You can also do type inference. You don't always need to specify TypeScript, but yeah, if you can, then you should. So basically, this is a basic setup. Maybe in a bigger project, you can go in depth of ensuring that TypeScript is on when we work. All right. So thank you for coming. I trust this video has given you some confidence to actually use TypeScript in your Nuxt 3 project. I think it's a great time for developers. We have great tooling, great support, and so now we just have to bring more into the scene. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video. Bye.